Hi all, my name is Tracy. This is the 3-Wick Thesis candle channel, and today I have for you a lit review episode of Goose Creek's Autumn Road Trip collection. There are 8 candles in this collection. I believe 6 of them are new fragrances, which that's a lot for a collection from Goose Creek. The other 2 are returning, but they're new to me, so I did order all 8. Of course I did. I already have these unboxed because I had multiple shipments come while I was in Michigan and I didn't know which box was which. I have a haul I did of clearance items. I have a reorder of Halloween stuff. These were all kind of jumbled and mixed together, so I did already unbox. However, I have not sniffed these yet. So you're going to get my first impression on cold. I'll show you the jars, wax, wicks, talk about the scent notes, and then I'll cut the video, go out, burn them, take some burn footage, take notes about things like strength and throw and how they evolve on warm. I'm going to start with the 2 returning fragrances that are new to me. The first one is Harvest Hayride. And these labels are really pretty. They are realistic pictures of fall scenes. And in this case, you've got an old wagon with some hay bales, beautiful fall colors. The seam leaves a lot to be desired. It feels like you're going to a whole different planet, but still pretty fall vibes. And this whole collection has the same kind of center, really small minimalist label here on the front with the details and the 4 X's, which I don't know if that's Roman numerals for 40. It's just a design they did. I have no idea, but they all have that same label and they all have white lids. This one is white wax with thin, stiff, ropey wicks. And scent notes are orchard, apple, spiced pumpkin, mountain hay, and warm cedar. That's really pretty. I really like it. I am not always a fan of apple, but I like that it's orchard apple. I feel like it's a very subtle earthy apple, if that makes sense. I feel like you get an idea of there being apples around you, but not like in your face like you get with some of the apple fragrances. It's a very soft, juicy, ripe apple. I feel like you get some pumpkin spice in there. I feel like I'm picking up on clove and cinnamon, but like earthy and barky. It's not spicy hot. It's not necessarily baker's cinnamon. Very earthy cinnamon. And the hay just adds this like warmth, complexity. It's just like an earthy warmth. It doesn't, I've never had hay in a fragrance before. I don't feel like I can connect it to anything else. It's very pretty though. I don't know that it would, I would say it smells like actual hay. Having grown up around farms, it has a very distinct smell. It just adds like a warmth to it. I like it on cold. It's really pretty. Apple cider ice cream is the other returning fragrance, and this has a bowl of vanilla looking ice cream with some, looks like caramel, and is that almonds? Maybe some cider flavoring in there somewhere. Wrap around again. Seam leaves a lot to be desired on this one. Same lid, same wax, same wicks. Wicks look a little bit off-centered on this one. Scent notes are apple cider, sweet caramel, and creamy vanilla ice cream. That's yummy. You definitely get a lactonic note from the creamy ice cream. It is vanilla. It reminds me a little bit of like a French vanilla ice cream. There's a richness to it. The cider is very subtle. Again, I'm used to apple fragrances just really socking you in the face with like a strong apple vibe. This is very muted, very soft. It feels more like a baked apple fragrance. Like the sugars are broken down. It's sweet. It's not quite as tart. And the caramel in here is very subtle. It's there. It helps to sweeten things up. It brings in almost like a burnt sugar, or like a brown sugar vibe to it. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the picture. It looks like maybe you have a cider flavored vanilla ice cream with caramel on it. I don't get nuts. There's no nutty note in here like the picture would suggest, but this definitely smells like a delicious apple ice cream. It reminds me a little bit of like the apple flanker boardwalk cone vibe, and that you have the apple with the ice creamy sugar cone note. But replace the sugar cone with caramel. So instead of that brown sugar, give it a caramel note. And I think if you like that candle, you'd like this one. Yeah. Oh, this one was the one y'all are getting hyped about. Sweet potato beignet. And I understand why. If this delivers, I will be very happy. You have the pictures of beignets on here, rolling around, fresh out of the vat of fat in the powdered sugar. Good label on that one. Good seam. Same wax, same wicks, same lid. This is sweet potato puree, powdered beignets, and creamy honey butter. Oh, that's good. That's delicious. This feels like how I expected Bath & Body Works pumpkin donut to smell. Reminds me a little bit of the circa 1955 pumpkin beignet fragrance. I don't get a strong sweet potato note from this, but there is like a creamy starchy vibe to it that I'm guessing is the sweet potato. You definitely get a dough note, and it does smell deep fried. It also almost smells a little bit like flaky crust and some sweetness. I think you could tell me it was powdered sugar, but it also just kind of smells like vanilla to me. I don't know if that's the honey butter. There's definitely some bake good, rich, savory grease butter note in there that's pleasant. Yeah, that's really pretty. Very edible, very gourmand. I wouldn't say cloyingly sweet. It's a little bit bready in the way that beignets are. I like it. Countryside wine tasting. This was one I'm a little bit worried about given the scent notes. I do love the grapes on here though. I love to go to the Filoli is like a big mansion and gardens near us. I haven't gotten noticed whether or not they're doing their orchard days this year, but normally they do orchard days and you can walk through their apple orchards and their grapevines. It's so cool to see the grapes on the vine with like everything changing color. It's just gorgeous. And this reminds me of that. That label does. This is barrel-aged Merlot, velvet, cherry, juicy plum, and rustic spice. Oh, I like that way more than I thought I would. I get the spice first. Oh, and the fruitiness is so nice. There is something in here that is reminding me a little bit of holiday embers and like fall garland put together. Something about the fruit note that's in here is giving me the like a some sort of like red berry vibe. I surely don't get barrel-aged Merlot in here. It is not boozy. And it does not smell like red wine to me. Although some of us would debate that Merlot isn't really red wine, but I like Merlot. I don't smell Merlot. I get spice, I get red berry, and it is just very earthy, and the spice in here feels kind of barky and dry. I never would have guessed this as a wine or grape fragrance. Yeah, it reminds me of fall garland and holiday embers kind of vibe. Like if you like that fall going into winter, I get that from this. It really doesn't smell like the scent notes to me. Same lid, same wax, same wicks. We'll see how that evolves on warm, but I really like it. Way more than I thought I would. Okay. Autumn road trip. So you've got the beautiful road here with all the fall foliage changing color up in the mountains. Same lid. These are matte white, which is kind of nice. White wax. Same wicks. This is wild fig, autumn acorns, fall foliage, and a cool breeze. Yeah, it's okay. Whatever the breeze note is in here, I'm picking up on eucalyptus, which, like, honestly, y'all, I'm just bored of it. Like, every cool breeze, lake breeze, water breeze, you know, it's all eucalyptus. There's laundry stuff with eucalyptus. I just feel like it's a little overhyped. And then the acorn note in here is nice. I do actually get a sense of the acorn. It reminds me a little bit of the acorn that's in the SpongeBob Sandy Cheeks. And then there's just an earthy element in here. I'm guessing it's the fall foliage. It's a bit too earthy for me, a bit too like dirty. Yeah, there's something, I'm not sure I like the combination of the really sharp eucalyptus with the very deep earthiness of whatever the fall foliage is. The acorn is trying to save it. It's okay. It's not my favorite of the bunch. It also just feels like I've done that candle already this season. I'm really excited about this one, Farmhouse Lavender. I love to go to the lavender farms up in Washington when I visit my sister. So this reminds me of going there and seeing their dried lavender. Beautiful label on that. Same lid, same wax, same wicks. And this is dried lavender bundles, white pumpkin, and farmhouse spice. Do I get the lavender at all in here? So first and foremost, this is just a classic pumpkin spice, white pumpkin vibe. Again, overdone. It's August and I'm tired of pumpkin spice already. It's well done though. I feel like it has what feels like a good blend of like cinnamon clove. There's something in there that's warm. Almost reads like a ginger to me. The lavender is in there, but y'all, it's not strong enough. I thought this was going to be a lavender forward candle. It is not. It is a white pumpkin and pumpkin spice forward candle. The lavender just adds this very subtle hint of sweet floral. And I was hoping with it being a dried lavender that you would get more of like a dusty floral lavender versus like a perfumey. And I feel like it's a little sweet and perfumey for dried. But really just getting completely buried by the spice note in here. I hope this is different on warm and that lavender comes out more because it doesn't deserve the lavender label if it smells on warm how it smells on cold. Golden Harvest Citrus. I think the hubs will like this one. So you have a crate of small pumpkins, despite the citrus name. Those are the baking pumpkins, the ones that you actually make pie with. Again, some fall leaves on the ground, a beautiful farm scene. Seems a little bit questionable. Same lid, same wax, same wicks. This is Sun-Washed Citrus, Autumn Spice, and Golden Leaves. Oh, this is really pretty. Oh, that citrus is beautiful. I'm often nose blind to citrus, but this is really nice. It is orange. It is juicy. It is not in any way like, sometimes I feel like orange can smell like Flintstone vitamins or get kind of like tang powdery. It's just a very juicy, fresh orange. Oh man, it's almost like a satsuma. Like when you rip it open and it's just so juicy and you get a little bit of the zest. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. Mostly orange. I do get the spice. It feels like a clove to me. So if you don't like clove, you might not like this one. I get just a hint of something earthy in the background that makes it so this isn't one of those like clove, you know, pricked orange flavor fragrances. It definitely has like an earthy grounding element to it, albeit not very strong. Oh, Hubs is gonna love that one. I really like this one on cold. That's beautiful. I'm torn about the top 4, y'all. And then the last one is Fresh Orchard Apple. So you have the apple trees with what almost looks like, those almost look like Red Delicious or like a Gala apple. Wrap round, same lid, same wax, same wicks, off center this time. This is scent notes of crisp red apple, ripe pear, and orchard woods. This kind of reminds me of the scent notes that were in Spring Apple from Bath & Body Works, because that had like apple trees, pear, and I think it was vanilla. So this has like the trees, but it has apple and pear. Yeah, it's a similar vibe. Spring Apple from Bath & Body Works was pear forward. This is apple forward. But you do get both apple and pear. The apple in this is very sweet, like a Honeycrisp or a Macintosh. The pear is in the background, nice and juicy and ripe. And then the woods note is just adding what feels like a hint of like earthiness. Barely detectable though. It almost feels like it's adding a hint of something a little bit perfumey. Very subtle though. Mostly apple, a little bit of pear. Okay, so let me rank these on cold. In 8th place, this is a fabulous fragrance. Y'all, I'm just not a huge apple fan. It's the Fresh Orchard Apple. Yeah, it's juicy. I think lots of apple lovers will really like it. It's just not for me. This one, I don't know about. I kind of like it. I feel a little burnt out on what feels like a eucalyptus note in here. Autumn Road Trip would be next for me, number 7. Yeah, the more I smell it, the more I like the complexity. Gonna have to see how that evolves. That might be kind of tied with number 6, which is the Farmhouse Lavender. Too spice forward on this. I really want more of the floral. It's pretty though. I like it. It's just not what I was expecting. A little bit inauthentic to me. Apple cider ice cream would be next. Again, not a fan of apple. I really like this one though, because of that creamy ice cream note that's in there. Number 4, a bit of a shocker of the bunch, would be the Golden Harvest Citrus. I really love the orange note that's in here. Also, in holding the candle from the bottom, I'm seeing that my label is all jacked up. Not a big deal, but again, if you're a collector, that would be so annoying. This one, I love the orange, the juicy orange with the spice note in there. Number 3, I would do Sweet Potato Beignet. I think it's really authentic. I like it, but I'm craving a little bit more sweet potato in there. Number 2, I would do is Harvest Hayride, mostly because it's just unique. I've never had a hay fragrance before. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre and intriguing, and my brain's trying to figure it out. Number 1, cannot believe this is number 1, but I really like it. Countryside Wine Tasting. Really curious to see what this is like on warm. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, y'all, I'm going to go out and burn these, take some notes, take some burn footage, and I'll be right back after the cut to share with you my findings. All right, y'all, I'm back. Let me start by saying this collection is phenomenal, and I feel like there's a little something for everyone. You want apple without spice? You got it. You want apple with spice? You got it. You want some floral? You got it. You want just pumpkin spice? Yup. You want some gourmand? Earthy? Yes. Y'all, well done. Autumn Road Trip collection is amazing. I would own any one of these. I wouldn't rebuy all of them. But that's only because I'm not an apple fan. But these are all phenomenal. You want to pick up at least something from this collection. They're all really good. And I didn't have a lot of strength or throat issues with these. I did have quite a few off-center wick problems. We'll see how that goes throughout the burn as we go on. But in general, really happy with this collection, and I think you'll like what's available. Per usual, I'm going to put these in rank order from my least favorite to my most favorite. Strength and throw is all based off of that laboratory space I use, converted single car garage. No airflow, so keep in mind this could change strength throw for you in your home. Number 8, and only because I don't like apple, is Fresh Orchard Apple. If you like apple And in particular, if you like very tart, juicy apple with no strong spice bakery accord, you want to pick this up. I have in all caps in my notes, thrower. Had this going in the garage. I was working at my desk. I was burning the jam donut one from Kringle with the new strawberry strudel from Bath & Body Works. By the way, beautiful pairing. I was like, why do I keep smelling apple? There's no apple in these candles. I realized it was because this little one was traveling up the stairs, out the door back here, around the corner, up the stairs, and into my office space. So if you are looking for a very strong, very good throwing, fresh apple fragrance, this is your go-to. I'm not looking for that, so it's last on my list. It is just a beautiful, fresh apple fragrance. I don't get the pear on warm. It is completely dominated by the apple. If it's there, it's helping to round out some of the tartness and the brightness from the red apple and adding a hint of sweetness, but I really just got apple. I didn't get Orchard Woods, whatever that note is supposed to be. This is just very fresh, very crisp, without any sort of spice. So if you're looking for a simple, juicy apple with a lot of power, pick this one up. You know, it's just not my thing. But even the Hubs was like, wow, that one's really strong. I said, yes, it absolutely is. Okay, number 7 is the Farmhouse Lavender. Let me start with the positives on this. Number 1, I love the idea. I love the idea of combining like a pumpkin spice vibe with lavender. It makes me think of going to lavender farms during October up in Coopville in Washington. It just has a vibe. I like the idea. The problem that I have with this candle is that on cold, I could barely smell the lavender. On warm, it turns up just a little bit. It's not enough for me. I wanted this to be a lavender candle first with the spice as a secondary, and this is a spice candle first with the lavender as a secondary. The other issue I have with this is that on warm, the lavender turns almost deodorant-y to me, and dried lavender, in my opinion, ends up smelling very concentrated, very earthy, very floral, and this almost started to smell like powdery or perfumey to some extent. So it's like if they could just fine-tune this one a little bit more, I think it would be amazing, and I really like the concept of it. So it's almost there. I feel like it needs some work. The spice note that's in here, the white pumpkin and the farmhouse spice, is very much a cinnamon clove combo, and it's a woody spice. So it literally feels like you've got some cinnamon bark that you're shaving off, or like whole cloves that you're using. It's not like a bakery spice. It's a very natural, earthy spice, which I think is appropriate for the lavender. I think it would be really good for September. We're definitely getting out of lavender season, but that makes sense to have dried lavender around because the rainy season hasn't hit yet. And you're kind of letting those florals dry out. So I think this is good for September. That's where it's going to end up. I'm actually going to literally just put it in this pile here when I'm done. I'm looking at my September rotation. I'm filming that video already, y'all. It is the end of August. So it's going to go in my September rotation. I think it'll do well there. The wicks on this one were a bit off center, which you can see here in the burn footage. I would say this was medium leaning towards low strength, and it had good throw. It filled the space. It didn't creep up like the Apple Orchard one did, but it filled the space, and it's not a powerhouse, but it's decent. Decent throw. Decent strength. Number 6 is the apple cider ice cream. This is where we get into, like, put these in your cart. You need these. This one is a delicious ice cream fragrance. I feel like you get the creaminess. It's so creamy that it actually smells more like melted ice cream to me. If you've ever let your ice cream melt and then you sniff it, it kind of changes the viscosity and the fragrance from it. It gets really creamy. That's what I get from this. The caramel note that's in here is so subtle. It definitely reads more like you took some syrup and sprinkled it on top of ice cream. The apple note that's in here is very subtle. You get a hint that it's a cider. There's a little bit of warm spice. The apple feels pressed or very cooked and warm. Mostly creamy vanilla ice cream with what feels like an apple cider caramel drizzle. I like it. It's phenomenal. In terms of strength and throw, I would rank this at a solid medium in terms of strength, and it did have good throw. It filled the space. It didn't go up the stairs, but it did a good job of filling out my testing space. Also with this one, it had some off-centered wicks, as you can see here in the burn footage. Again, that was a common thread with this collection. I don't know that it will cause issues, but just something to be aware of. Unlike Bath & Body Works, I can't take the lid off and choose the best one. With Goose Creek, you get what they send you, and sometimes you get off-center wicks. So this one I would rank as number 6. Number 5 is going to be Golden Harvest Citrus, although, y'all, this, any other collection, this would rank higher up. This collection is so amazing that this one is number 5. If you like citrus, you need this candle. It is beautiful. And I'm not always a citrus fan. I really, really like this one. It is so juicy and so rich in terms of citrus. Citrus can be really bright. It can feel a bit powdery. It can feel a bit like Flintstone Vitamin. I don't get that at all. This just reads like a very, very juicy navel style orange. I feel like it's got the autumn spice in there, which makes it feel a bit like you've got those little like clove buds pricked into it, and it's used as like an air freshener. So you get a little bit of woodiness, a little bit of warm spice. It's just very juicy without feeling concentrated orange. It literally just smells like fresh squeezed juice with clove in it and spice in it. Hubs really liked this one too. He said he was really impressed and this was one of the best fall orange candles he's smelled. I trust his nose more than mine since I tend to be citrus blind a bit. In terms of strength, I would put this at a very solid medium leading towards strong. If you're looking for a strong orange citrus, this is going to be a go-to, and the throw was really good. However, I felt like it was a bit elusive. So it was able to throw across the room, but I sometimes felt like it was stronger further away from the candle than it was nearby. Absolutely would repurchase this one. And now we're getting into repurchase territory for me, and being this deep into the list and already being in repurchase territory speaks to how awesome this collection is. Number 4 is Countryside Wine Tasting. This is just a nice, different fall candle. I can appreciate that it has the berry notes in here. They're calling it velvet cherry and juicy plum. To me, I get almost like an ambiguous berry note with a very fresh, ripe, red cherry. And I'm talking about like the Bing cherries that you eat in the summer, and I make cherry pies. You slice it in half and you get the juice all over your fingers, and it's really ripe and it gives that cherry essence. It's that. I like this because it's not medicinal. It's not candy cherry. It's not artificial cherry. It is legit smells like fresh cherries that you cut open. It is delicious. I love that note. It's not something I would normally associate with fall, but I think it works, especially because you've got the spice note in here that reads like a very warm bakery cinnamon accord. It's sweet, it's fruity, spicy. I don't think it's boozy at all. This does not scream Merlot to me. This smells more like just a delicious, like fresh pressed juice that you mold with some spices. I like it. I just don't know that it's as advertised. That's probably also why it's a little bit lower down on the list compared to the other ones. In terms of strength, I would put this at a solid medium. It did have good throw. It filled out the space. It's not a thrower. It didn't creep up the stairs. And I did not have any issues with the wicks on this one. In general, it looks like it's going to be a healthy burn, good throw, good strength, and I recommend this if you like fresh cherry, fruity vibes with a hint of like spice. I also feel like it's going to be a little bit refreshing to have that in the mix with what often feels like very heavy pumpkin fragrances throughout the season. And number 3, hot out of the laboratory, still a bit gummy, I literally just burnt this out about 30 minutes ago, is Harvest Hayride. Y'all, you need this candle. If you want an authentic fall vibe that's earthy and like fall air pumpkin patch vibe, this is your go-to. The hay accord in here, to me, I will say, as someone who grew up around farms, smells more like straw than it does hay. It's more dry than what I would think of as hay, which tends to be a little bit more grassy. It's still good. It still gives me pumpkin patch vibes, and that's because out here on the West Coast, we have pumpkin patches and they put straw down to help with like erosion, and you know, the dirt can get really muddy if it rains. This feels like I'm walking through a pumpkin patch. I pick up on that straw note. I feel like I get this like fall leaves fallen and maybe a little bit of dampness from it having rained recently. I get almost like an earthy dirt vibe from it. It's not moody. It's not deeply earthy. It is more like fresh fall. I'm outdoors on a cool day and I'm walking around in the pumpkin patch. And as I'm looking for pumpkins, someone with a hot apple cider just walked by me. So the notes that are in here, that apple accord is very subtle. There's like a, is it an actual cider? It's orchard apple and spiced pumpkin. So you get this like sense that you are near people who are drinking like an apple cider with spice in it, but it's not in your face. So if you like the vibe you get from walking through a pumpkin patch, pick this up. That's what this is. This is pumpkin patch in a jar. Okay, number 2 and number 1 actually don't even feel like a fair ranking. One is very gourmand, one is very earthy, but it's what I'm going to do. Number 2, sweet potato beignet. Run. Don't walk. Run and put this in your cart. If you were waiting for my review, you're waiting to hear from others. Does it have strength? Does it have throw? Does it smell like sweet potato beignet? The answer is yes, yes, yes. Okay. This is everything you hoped for. Kent, if you were behind this, thank you, because I am tired of any sort of dessert that's deep fried just ending up smelling like churro. This does not smell like churro. It actually legit smells like a sweet potato beignet. Albeit, I get the honey butter a lot more than the sweet potato. Y'all, this is delicious. I want to eat this candle. When it's warm, it is strong. It has excellent throw. I don't know that I'd say like full-on powerhouse, but for what it is super, super strong. And it filled the space. Didn't creep out the door, but you will be very happy with the performance on this candle if it's like mine. You get this fried dough essence that doesn't read too bready. Like I feel like the pumpkin donut shop from Bath & Body Works ends up reading too bready. You actually get a sense of it smelling like a beignet. You get a sense of that butter note in here, the honey butter. It is so sweet and rich, and it just feels like you are sticking your head in a bag of freshly deep fried beignets. The powdered sugar is very, very light. Most of the sweetness is coming from the honey butter in here. The only thing I was craving with this candle is like a maple glaze. But then I would worry that the maple glaze might drown out the beautifulness that is the kind of pumpkin vibe to this candle. It's not spicy pumpkin. It is just straight up smells kind of starchy and sweet like a sweet potato does. Although that's more subtle. First and foremost, I get that honey, the honey note that's in here, the honey butter. Beautiful, stunner. You need this candle. Put it in your bag. Run, don't walk, because I think this is going to sell out. Number 1, again, doesn't compare. This one's more earthy. Autumn Road Trip. Makes sense to me this is number 1 because that's the name of the collection. Y'all, this is so good. Oh, it's beautiful. Now, some of y'all might complain because this does end up feeling a little bit more like a fall to winter transitional fragrance to me. I feel like this will be a really good candle to burn in, say, November. Not necessarily right now, because there is that cool breeze note in here that's bringing out a bit of what feels like a eucalyptus or a pine note to it when it's warm. I really like it, but if you don't want that, you're not ready for it, you might save this for later in the season. It is just a beautiful, leafy acorn vibe that smells natural. It is leafy and acorn without having to go the way of cologne or apple. It is legit leaf, legit acorn. And I do like this one better than Sandy Cheeks' SpongeBob line. I think the oak leaf in that one kind of maybe dominates the acorn note. This one, you just get the acorn and it feels a little bit nutty paired with whatever the fall foliage note is in here that ends up being kind of woody and earthy and smelling kind of like dry leaves. It's just beautiful. The fig in here is not super strong. I feel like it adds just like a hint of sweetness, and fig can be pretty earthy too, and I almost get what feels like a soil vibe from the fig. So it's a more earthy fig, probably more like a purple fig if I had to guess. Love it. Medium to strong strength, good throw, have no complaints. Would absolutely repurchase this one. Highly recommend it if you're looking for just authentic fall woody vibes with a hint of what feels like winter is coming. All right, let me know in the comments below a couple of things. One, do you own any of these yet? Have you burned them? What are your experiences? Please share them, even if they contradict mine, because it helps my viewers get more insights. Number two, do you have any questions about any of these? I will answer them to the best of my ability. If you want any more insights, let me know. I'm always happy to help with those as well. Before you take off, make sure you're subscribed. I have so much good stuff coming down the planning line of my channel. I have Kringle Halloween coming up. I have my Ritual Bath and Body Works haul on Saturday. I have my Weekends deal on Thursday. Y'all, I don't know, at the time of recording, I assume by the time I'm done editing, I will officially hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 999 as we speak right now. So I'm going to have my Ask Me Anything episode coming out. You want to be tuned in. I want you here because I love y'all and want to share that with you. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to know when I'm going to be releasing content, which is pretty much at least once a day, every day. Also, thumbs up if you liked this video, and if you feel like I saved you any money and you want to pass that along to my channel, I always appreciate that. Super thanks are awesome, but they're never required. I will continue to create this content whether or not you support me monetarily or not. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. Bye, everybody.